What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and I got some pickups. Did my voice just squeak right there? I could technically edit that out, but I don't want to. So you know that's what you get with me. You get natural JJ squeaks and voice weird mishaps, and like this right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, quite frankly, why I'm still recording. This could be considered some kind of a blooper. I'm just going to keep it in anyways because, quite frankly, I'm lazy. Hi, welcome to Game Room Revival. My name is JJ, and I'm going to do some pickups today. That's not how I start videos typically, but hey, let's just, good lord, I don't know what's going on. I'm excited. I got some cool stuff though. So, and it's not all, it's all game related, but it's not all video games. So, I'm super stoked though. So, let's get into it. First up, no, I'm sure there's going to be plenty more like after Christmas, and you know, like, I won't do it like right after Christmas because I don't know that I'll have enough for a full video at that point, but I imagine within the next couple of months I'll have enough to do another one. So, more stuff's coming. So, first one up is Yokai Watch. Honestly, I've always been curious about these games, and I noticed that it was like insanely cheap. And so I went ahead and just snagged it. This is brand new, still in the shrink wrap and everything. It's like, I've always been curious because it seems to be like a Pokemon type game. I'm kind of curious as to what people think about it because I don't think I've ever like read or watched any reviews on it really. I just know that they've made several of them, so it has to have done pretty well. So if you've played this, let me know how these games are because I've got the second one and I think I had that one already, and then I picked up this one because this was I have one of the second ones. I think there's like different versions, but I think there's only one version of the original. And it was super cheap, so I was like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot. So it seems interesting and kind of neat, so we will check that out at some point. Let me know how it is. Next up is a game that I already owned, but I saw it on one of the Twitter accounts that I follow that kind of like gives heads up on like deals and stuff that are going on. She said that Amazon had this for like under $10. And I was like, hey man, I'm always down to support Final Fantasy for, almost any price typically. But for some $10, it was a game that I already own. I have the collector's edition on PS4. But this is the updated version on Xbox One. That's World of Final Fantasy Maxima. I don't know that I'll necessarily play it, at least not anytime soon. If I do go back and play these games again, because it was really fun. I remember having a good time with it. If you're nostalgic for like Final Fantasy and the older games and stuff, it's just so cool to see those characters come to life in this. It's a cute little game, and I had a good time with it. So I might go back to it at some point. Either way, but it was super cheap, and happy to have that for the collection. So another Xbox game. And I made it a point on my list of 20 this year or next year that I'm going to be doing. Like I said in my previous video, the list is done. There's, I think, like 4 or 5 Xbox games on there because I want to start getting more experience with that library and play some of those games because I wholeheartedly admit I've neglected that system in the past. All the Xbox systems in the past, I have them, but I just haven't played as many. And now that I have the Xbox Series X, with that backwards compatibility, there's so much I can do without having to change consoles and that kind of thing. So I'm very excited to dig into more of those games. Next up is a game that I thought I had but did not, and that is Wolfenstein on PS3. And I saw that online and went ahead and snatched it up. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this game, and I will be playing it next year. Spoiler alert, this is one of the games on the list, so I'm super excited to get into this and finally give it a shot because I know it's obviously not old, but older at this point. And it's time for me to finally try it out because I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. So really excited to play that at some point. Got a few Switch games. We have got, first up is the Atari Flashback Classics. I've never owned an Atari. I have very little experience with Atari. I've played it a couple of times. This I just saw on, I think, Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It wasn't much. It was super cheap. But it's got 150 freaking Atari games on there. So I was like, yeah, if I ever want to try like a lot of the Atari library, boom. I think this is just such a cool thing. I don't know when I'll get to this, but I have no doubt that at some point I will pop this in and give it a shot just because I'm curious about so many of these games. And quite frankly, I like the box art too. I love how one of the things I love about retro video games is like how your imagination comes into, well, my Jersey accent just came back there for a second, imagination. I love how your imagination comes into play when you're looking at the box art as opposed to the game itself. Like, you look at an Atari game being played and you're like, oh, it's like a couple of dots moving on the screen. It's not much to look at, but then you see the box art and it's a full-on, like, story in a picture right there. And I just think that's so cool, so that you translate that into what's going on the screen. You're like, this is actually what's happening here. You're just, not seeing it in the way the artwork is portrayed. But I think that's neat. Some people probably think that's dumb, but I think it's cool, and I like looking at that kind of stuff, so super excited to have that. Next up is, I'm so stoked to have this, and I cannot believe I haven't played it yet. I have been trying to platinum Dragon Quest XI though, because I really like it a lot. Mario Party Superstars. This is, honestly, I know what would get me to play this if I had some people to play with. If anybody wants to add me on Switch and do some online stuff and play this, I'd be more than happy to. Because I love Mario Party for one, and this is like a compilation of all the best games and a lot of the best boards from past games in the series. So I think this is so cool, and I'm really, really excited to have it and check it out at some point. I want people to play with, because Mario Party Solo it's not really much of a party. But man, yeah, please, if anybody has a Switch and wants to fire this up, let me know. I'm totally down. Another Switch game that I got is a 2-pack that I saw a while ago, and it finally got released, and that is the Prinny Presents NES Classics Volume 1 Deluxe Edition. It's a mouthful. Basically, it comes with 2 games, both NES games, Soul Nomad and the World Eaters, and Phantom Brave. Both games that I do own in their original forms, but I figured this was coming out with a 2-pack. They're probably going to be like updated and upscaled a little bit and have them, together in one place, and being able to play them on a current console, I think is great. I have not played either one of these, and I want to so bad. So I'm super stoked that they did this, and this says Volume 1, so hopefully they're going to do more, because I would love to see that. Frankly, I'd love to see like a Disgaea one, where they just have like several, even if they did like, a couple of different volumes, where it's like, hey, here's one with part of Disgaea 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and so on. I think that'd be really cool. But I'm so happy to have this, and I love these 2-packs for games. Next is a game that I own and I've talked about before, because it is hands down one of my favorite games and one of the most unappreciated games on the Nintendo, the NES. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I had the game, but I did not have the box or the manual, and I was able to get the box and manual on eBay for a really great price. And I'm so happy. I love this game so much, and it's so good. This was like freaking early Diablo style almost. It's just such a really, really fun game, especially if you love retro. I highly recommend if you get the chance. And you like it's based on the Kevin Costner movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and it's just so good. For what it was at the time. And if you love NES games, definitely give this a shot if you get the chance, because I love it, and I'm super, super happy that I have the box. I love NES boxes. I have so many. I'm going to be doing an NES collection video soon, and you'll see how many I have unboxed, and it's so frustrating. So whenever I can get a box at a decent price, I'm thrilled and over the moon for it. So yeah, it's super happy about that. If anybody has an extra Kid Clown box on NES, that would be wonderful. That won't happen ever to me. Next is, so there is a, near my work there's a mall, and sometimes on my lunch break I'll just go over there and I'll just walk around, and they've got a few shops in there that I like to go. One of them is a shop called Lunchbox, and it is kind of like an anime pop culture kind of store, with just a whole bunch of collectibles and cool things. A lot of pop vinyls and statues and figurines, and like a few board games and like blankets with anime characters and clothing and that kind of stuff. Whole bunch of stuff in there. And I saw this Super Mario manga, and I just thought, I love Nintendo's aesthetics, especially with Super Mario. It's just so attractive to me, and I love the way this looks. So I don't know that I'm going to read it anytime soon. I mean, it's cool looking, it looks fun. But man, I love the way this looks. I love the colors and how it pops. And it's just so dang attractive to me. And I absolutely adore it. So yeah, I'm just kind of stoked to have this. One of these days, if I do another like tour just to kind of see like how I've updated my game area down here, I have like some, like I'm looking at Super Mario Uno over there, and it's just super cool. I'll grab it. I'll show you. Okay, so stuff like this, where it's Uno, but it's Super Mario themed, and I will more than likely never play it or do anything with it. But I love the aesthetics so much that I picked it up just so I could have it and make my room down here a lot more colorful, because I love the way it looks. It's just so pretty. It really is. So yeah, super stoked to have that stuff in there. Next up, so with the new Nintendo stuff, with the upgraded online subscription where you get the N64 games and Sega Genesis games, say what you want about the price. I'll be honest with you, I don't mind it, mainly because I thought it was insanely cheap to begin with. $20 a year is nothing. I would have paid twice that off the bat already. I understand the frustration, and I think it's kind of crazy that they did that big of a jump just out of nowhere to what it is now, which is like 40 or 50, I think $50 a year. But honestly, $50 a year still isn't that bad. The only problem is they don't have a lot of the features that Sony and Xbox do, like voice chat and everything, unless you want to use your phone with. But I got one of the Sega Genesis controllers. That you can get off their website. I want the N64 one really bad, I really do, but it keeps getting sold out. I know they'll have it eventually and I'll be able to get one. I'm not worried about it because I've got the Super Nintendo one and the NES ones, which they look so sharp. I love the way they box this stuff up. Nintendo just knows how to make things attractive, quite frankly, and it just looks great on the shelf. But I know that I'll get an N64 one because I have those other two, and both of those were sold out for a good long while, and now you can get them no problem. Obviously, it's like one per account. I think with these though, it's like somewhere between 2 and 4 that you can get per account. So it's not bad. I'm just gonna get one because it's just me. And I honestly just shelve it. I don't really use these things. I just think they look really cool. So I'm really excited to have this. I love this old stuff being updated and looking all new and fresh, and I love it, man. I love seeing a shelf full of classic gaming gear, and Nintendo knows how to, really do aesthetics and make it look good to where I can, set up a shelf and just have this awesome area of memorabilia and like good stuff that just makes me feel happy inside. So super excited to have that. And last but not least, if you follow a lot of the accounts on Twitter that I follow, you will have seen this posted many times. I'm going to put a link to their website down below too, Bitmap Books. They do some amazing stuff. I've kickstarted a couple of their products that they've done, but they came out with one recently that I was like, I have to have it. And I did not realize how freaking big this book was. This is the Guide to Japanese Role-Playing Games. Look at how thick that thing is. Like, that's for comparison. I'll put up a... Here's a Switch game. Like, look at how thick that thing is. It's crazy. This thing is just so cool. Every role-playing game that you can think of, JRPG that you can think of, and they just literally have pages upon pages of screenshots and things to say about the games, and it's just absolutely beautiful and really, really fun to just thumb through and look at. And man, I'm so happy to have this. I don't know that this will be one that I like sit down and read cover to cover at some point. I think it'll be one that I'm just like, if I get bored, I might just like pick it up every now and then and just kind of like open it up to a random page and look through it. I kind of want to read it cover to cover though too, so I might do that anyway. One of them. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I'm super stoked to have this. This is gorgeous. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to their website in the video description, because they have so many books on just video game stuff and compile all this stuff together. And I love preserving this stuff. You know, obviously these aren't games that you're playing and everything like that specifically, but it's info on them, and you can, especially if you're something, you know, a nostalgia nut like me, and you look through this stuff and you see games that you played and games that you haven't played that you might like be like, holy crap, I didn't even know that existed. I need to track it down and find it, get it for my collection, get so I can play it. I'm just super stoked to have it, and I mean, look at the cover art. That's so cool. That's just so neat. I just appreciate that for a minute. I'll wait. All right. Anyways, so some cool stuff, guys. Really excited to have all this here. Got to find room for it. There were a couple of like manuals that I picked up as well. Like I got cases for NBA Jam Tournament Edition on Sega Genesis, and another one on Sega Genesis that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. And I got a manual for Shadow Hearts really cheap, which was a really lucky find. So I've got that complete in the box now finally. So only one of the Shadow Hearts games I have doesn't have a manual, but it's got the case. So I'm just waiting on something for that to come up. Other than that though, I mean, it's pretty much, yeah. I like completing things that I you know, have but don't fully have. But super stoked to have this stuff. Guys, let me know what you think. Obviously, like I said before, the Yokai Watch thing, I'm really curious if anybody that I know has played it. So I'd love to hear if any of you guys have any info on that, and let me know if you like it, whether it's just not as good as Pokemon, or if it's better, or you know how it is, because I'm definitely curious. It seems fun, and it had a crossover event a while ago in Final Fantasy XIV, which I did, which was kind of neat. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. And as always, keep on gaming.